Welcome back to Inside the Coverage, guys. This is the Week 14 edition after the Ravens' most recent loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. This one, 27-22, obviously controversial and very disappointing for us as Ravens fans. Did you watch the game live this week, EA, or did
I
you do
did.
the
Yep. I got a chance to watch the thing live. I had the same feeling you did. I thought the whole time we're going to win this game. Lamar's going to score on this last drive. I felt before that. It's just so strange the things that keep happening to this team from week to week.
Absolutely.
It's so
Yeah.
strange how they lose these games, but it seems to be par for the course. And it's the theme of the season is everything going wrong that can go wrong. But
Yeah. That was the names of one of my videos I did earlier in the year. Everything is wrong. Um, and it wasn't on Sunday. I mean, the way they fought back, the defense shutting the Steelers down in the fourth quarter completely. I don't think that was a situation where Pittsburgh just said, oh, we're going to go conservative and run three. They go 3 plays punt, 3 consecutive drives in the fourth quarter. In some of those situations, one more touchdown by them or, maybe even one more field goal kind of puts the game out of reach. I do not think they just went utterly conservative and kind of handed us defensive stops. I credit our guys for doing a nice job there in the fourth quarter. Do you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the Steelers to me are just a little bit like us. I think when I watch them, they seem so not like teams of old. They seem like this faceless Steelers team. Like there's no identity really or personality to them. I feel that way about us. I feel that way about the Ravens. I'm not watching us go up against the Steelers defense and thinking this is going to be a problem, even with T.J.
Right.
Watt or 56 on the outside. Both really good players, obviously, but I just don't see them as a unified group, and I don't see the Ravens as a unified group.
Completely agree. Yeah. I mean, as I said earlier, we were talking before the show at the same time that I had this feeling in the fourth quarter, even late third, like we're going to win this football game.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't have tremendous faith in our team overall, but just watching the game, if you allow yourself to let your instincts, your gut, or your brain, whatever you want to call it, make a decision. I think it was even after the touchdown to Jaylen Warren, which was a very frustrating situation that we'll talk about a little later when we show some plays. Even after that occurred, I said in our Discord, I said, guys, I think we're going to win this football game. I think we can win this football game. And sure enough, Lamar made the plays to give us an opportunity. We could talk about the offense if we want. The Isaiah Likely touchdown that wasn't is I think that's something that we're all going to remember for a long time because the difference there is huge. We're up 28-27 or maybe even 30-27 if it stands like I think it should.
Yeah, crazy. We were talking about this pre-show too. The refs had their arms up within a few seconds, signaling touchdown, and then 10, 15 seconds later, they're ready to snap the football. And this lightning quick decision came down from New York, from shadowy kind of thing, like, hey, play on. That's not a score.
2 refs. If you look at the all-22 angle, 2 refs immediately, put their arms up. And it wasn't like one of them looked at the other to confirm. They both independently said touchdown. So I think it's pretty obvious that rule is going to be, let me rephrase, the interpretation of that rule is probably going to be restructured or refigured in the offseason. I think it's been misinterpreted. It's absolutely my opinion that Isaiah Likely, by stretching the football out as far away from the DB as possible for an elongated period of time, is a football move.
Yeah.
It may be the same. Sorry, go ahead.
That was what was in his head. I'm in that brief instant. It's just like the clock's ticking. I just got to keep the ball out. I'm in the end zone. And that's what he was thinking. Just keep the ball away. I think he's getting some criticism about that, but I can see exactly what he was thinking. Just keeping the ball out,
You've seen it before with like taller receivers kind of in the end zone, like actually catching the ball and like holding it up, so it's away from the defender. I think, and even the rule book actually says, I think it's point B or point C, or maybe it's both, extending the football forward. Well, that's what he's doing. Forward for Isaiah Likely is the direction that he's moving. So I'm still of the opinion that it's a touchdown. I recognize
Yeah.
there's people interpreting it differently. I think that's the whole point. The NFL doesn't know what a touchdown is. They're not able to clearly define it in a way that is consistent at this point.
Yeah, and to get that ruling from afar without even the potential to for the Steelers to challenge it, to keep it on the field and in the stadium where the Steelers could challenge the touchdown call. Let's say none of that happened. It was immediate that it was overturned, and just really raises the specter of the WWE or something in football, which is not a good look.
100% for a organization, the NFL, to I think 23 or 24 billion dollars in revenue last year, something like that, to not be able to. Well, they don't have to present a consistent face. They just don't, because you're going to watch anyway.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter what we want to discuss or talk about it. It's unfortunate, but I do know this. The rest of the football world, college football, high school, youth football, that's a touchdown 99.9% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the history of football, it is as well. And I think it should be. So so my argument is that the rule is being misinterpreted by most, because a football move shouldn't be, I have to tuck the football and bring it back. It seems very arbitrary or strictly defined, and it shouldn't be, because a football move could be anything.
Yeah.
So in any case, we do have a slightly different format for today for you guys. We're not going to just alternate plays. We're going to kind of string consecutive plays together, and I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the way EA's got this first one covered. You're going to show one from the third quarter, right?
Third quarter. This is 2nd down and 17. This is a stubby call here, and I just want to point out we're going to look at the same exact call from 2023 in the playoff with the Bengals. We're going to look at that right after this, just to see the similarities or the distinctions. This is an empty call.
I love that.
Coach mentioned to me earlier that he thought Rodgers had a good idea about what we are running. I think that's true. I think this play kind of evidences that a little bit. So just in terms of the coverage, our safety has number 3 if he's vertical.
That starts.
Roquan here is going to match 3 if he's under, or 2 if he's under. So there's a lot of rules in play. Basically, we're locked here. Number 1 outside. The corner has the number 1 receiver. If he goes under, he's going to zone off, but he's got him in man. I think that Rodgers in a 3 receiver side is reading this coverage correctly. He understands what we're running. You can see the back pedal. That's a little distinct here by the safety. He looks to me like he's clearly reading number 3, which, again, he's supposed to.
To the top side, right? The top
side.
Yeah,
he's reading this tight end, but backpedaling. I think that's interesting. I'm sure he's coached to do that. But I wonder about this route here being communicated either on the sidelines or during practice the week before. If we get this look, we're going to run this curl, which really almost you can't defend it with 2 backing off here. Really not enough space to help against it. You might argue that it's a softer kind of coverage.
Right.
It's 2nd and 17. They give up 12. We've seen this kind of thing, too much. Yeah.
You pull it back a little bit.
Yep.
To like just off the release. Yeah. So yeah. So he's not. It's not like. Is that Marlon?
Marlon's on DK here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like Marlon is playing corner and he knows he's got, help over the outer third there. He has some help for what looks to be almost like a cover 2 type structure with that's Starks, right? Mm-hmm. On the 30.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to respect some type of vertical threat. Of course, at the point in time that you're showing this in the third quarter, the first play of the game was the 52-yarder to DK where he beat him deep, kind of pushed off too.
He did. Good point. Good route. I think to your point earlier when we were speaking, this is an understanding when he sees this coverage. He's reading the safety pre-snap. We'll look when we look at the playoff game,
It
which is
almost,
safe. Go ahead.
yeah, it almost gives off like his release initially. It almost starts to give off that they're having DK read that if it's man, I'm going to run a slot fade.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's zone, I'm going to get my vertical release and then snap that route down at, you said it's a gain of 12.
12, yeah.
Does it
No,
look like he's reading that? Is it, I mean, I guess
um,
it gets tough to tell. I mean,
well, let's see what happens here before the ball is snapped. Well, he's reading. No, he's looking at the line of scrimmage. I think he's probably talked about this beforehand.
mhm.
I think
If
this.
we get man, you mean, so it's okay, predetermined, like,
Yeah, if we run 3 receivers out and they align this way, so he's reading the safety on top of 3, and once the ball is snapped, when they run 3 under it, Roquan matches it. Safety's really aligned to 3 very deep here. So I think they saw this on tape. Not that we've run this coverage a lot, but he's seen it a lot. I mean, goodness, he has to have seen this coverage a million times. And I think no, we're not spying this, are we, Coach? Let me see.
we did a couple of times in this game. Even on the first possession, we went with a 3-man rush at one point, and we used John Jenkins to be a spy. I was like, it was a 3-man rush. I was confused. I had to watch it 4 or 5 times. Like, this is very surprising to me. Not that Aaron Rodgers is, he's not like Joe Flacco, totally immobile, but he can move around a little bit. He can shift around in the pocket and find. I mean, he had a rushing touchdown against us. So
Yeah, he certainly could outrun John Jenkins. You'd have to imagine.
yeah, this is a big play because
huge.
the ensuing play is the 3rd and 5 conversion against Awuzie, which was surprising. I mentioned it in my reaction video. Awuzie gets beat by Austin up the left sideline. I look at the way Awuzie's played this year and what we know about Austin, and I think we're going to win that matchup 9 out of 10 times. I guess, in my mind at least, that's the 1 out of 10 that Austin. It was a clean win. It was a beautiful throw by Rod. I think he played spectacular.
It was an awesome throw and an easy throw. He was throwing the football like a young man again. Just real effortless, just pinpoint accuracy.
Yep. When he played for Green Bay and they came to Baltimore in 2021, we gave them a battle, but the game was easy for him that day, generally.
Mm-hmm.
This didn't look as easy. Having said that, I think the numbers ended up pretty good. 284 yards, I think. Two weeks in a row, I guess 3 weeks in a row now, because we play the Bengals this week where, we've got good quarterbacks who are going to recognize things pre-snap, and this is a big play, man, to be able to give up 12 yards. That 3rd and 5, the conversion is just as big, if not bigger. It's so many opportunities to get them off the field.
Yeah, it's too frequently this year where you're just kind of, I don't want to say playing soft here. I wouldn't say that they're doing that here necessarily, but just, I don't know. It's 2nd and 17, giving up 12. It's not defense like you'd like to see the Ravens play in years past, where they just suffocate you. They're just, I don't know if it's, some of it's personnel, certainly in pass rush, but
there was a point in time in the game, maybe middle second quarter or even up to halftime, where like the only 2 guys he was throwing the ball to was DK and is it Gainwell, the running back?
Yeah,
that's it. That's pretty much all it was. So
yeah,
very limited offense.
I thought that idea of them being faceless on defense was pretty close to the same thing on offense. Just, this has just been such a weird season for the Ravens. Everything goes wrong,
So this is the same formation, empty to their left or right.
Yep. So this is a 3rd and 7. So there's a distinction there. 3rd and 7 is not the same as 2nd and 12. I will point out the safety here, which is Marcus Williams. He's got 3. And it's the same coverage. He's got 3 vertical, but he's reading the quarterback a lot more, or at least it appears that he's reading the quarterback, to me, more than he is the wide out. And as soon as he sees 3 under, He's downhill right here. He makes a great play. And I think okay, so yeah, we're one-on-one on the outside. That's part of this coverage as well.
Right.
Boom.
Oh,
Big
wow.
play. Big play. And it's different. The route is different. Number 2 here, which is Chase, is running a slant.
Quicker, yeah.
Um, but you'll notice the safety does not backpedal. He's coming down to kind of help out early in this.
Right. You do get the sense, kind of, not just from this play, but our defense the last couple of years, you do get the sense that our safeties seem to be more on top. We almost seem to be by default playing a more deeper alignment and staying on top of routes a little bit more, maybe less aggressive. I don't know if you feel like you see the same thing. I'm comparing 2022 and 2023 to the last 2 seasons, which is obviously unfair. I mean, Orr's in a different place. He didn't get to go to Michigan for a year like McDonald did and be exposed to obviously other high-level coaches and calling plays. A little unfair maybe, but it does seem like our safeties are less able to get involved on downhill stuff like this.
I agree. I also don't think they're in a position to help on verticals as much, and that's the same thing you're saying here.
Great play.
Yeah, really nice play. But that's really just the idea of film study, and I don't mean just Marcus Williams. I mean the whole entire defense, what the coach expects and how he's preaching it to them. I'm just speculating, but I'm sure he's preaching about this very situation. It does appear that Marcus Williams is anticipating this exact route. Never really reads through
Yeah.
to the extent that we see on the other play.
He's gone. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a great game. I mean, they played well defensively that night. They clearly gave us an opportunity to win. The 99-yard fumble return for a touchdown. That's the difference, obviously.
Boy, the stuff keeps happening to us, even back then.
It really does. I told you guys that we had, a little different format, and I'm going to do the same thing. Share, I think, 3 plays in a row, actually, but it's the focus is different. It's not formation based. This is matchup. So you had Marlon there against DK on the 12-yard catch, and I'm going to have Marlon against DK. Excuse me, on 3 plays on the first drive, and the first one is a big one, right? 52 yards. It's a laser for me. This is an absolute laser that they throw. I don't know that it could be really thrown any better. We're playing man free. I think it's Washington running across the field. Big specimen, all of those things, impressive athlete. But for me, I'm looking at this matchup, Hamilton versus Washington, and that's an absolute washout in our favor from a coverage standpoint. Like, that guy is not going to get open against Kyle Hamilton at all. There's a part of me that almost thinks, do we really need to waste Kyle Hamilton covering him? Because I just don't think that he could get open against that guy. And you kind of see evidence of, Washington trying to push off here. He's getting it done right now, trying to push off in the middle of the field. But there's Gilman as the deep safety. And Rodgers knows where he's going with this football. There's a push off, man. Like, the NFL needs to be consistent about this. I don't think we're being homers. The film is very staccato here, so sorry about that.
You don't get that kind of separation at the last minute without pushing off.
Yeah, Marlon's in good. I think Marlon's in a good place.
He is.
Throughout most of this route, Marlon is right there with him. Push off occurs pretty much after here. I screen record this a lot of times, so maybe that's why, but I think you can see how Marlon's posture breaks. That is not how you run. Your body doesn't move like that when you're running forward. I don't know. I don't know what there is to say about the inconsistency with which that particular style of finish or style of play of getting open is officiated. It seems radically different from a week-by-week basis.
Does it look to you like Gilman freezes on that cross? I don't know if he gets over in time to help. I'm not crazy about his alignment here with
Yeah.
DK one-on-one. I mean,
Yeah.
I know we've got 3 to that side, but it looks to me like he kind of comes down a little bit or hesitates with that cross when maybe he could have got over there to get. I don't know. It's a perfect throw, so it's tough. But
It is. It is. I think back on Wink, even his not 2021, but 19 and 20, watching him, when we would get bunch back then with under Wink, we're playing man. We're just telling you, okay, you're going to go bunch. We're playing man, and let's see who's better. But he would take this free safety, and instead of his feet being here, his feet were over here.
yeah, that's what I mean. He's too
And
talented.
it was, and that's kind of what I was talking about in the beginning here was Hamilton's going to wipe that out. That's not a matchup that they're going to win, in my opinion. I think we've got requisite talent here to cover the other 2 guys. So to your point, maybe if we want to be really picky, to your point, maybe we could be hedged over a little bit further. It's a perfect throw, though, by Rodgers. He puts it in a great spot. And, even if Gilman is over here near the top of the numbers, is he going to be able to get there? It's quite possible, he won't. I wouldn't say Gilman is the fastest guy.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't seem like the fastest guy out there to me. He is there.
It's interesting, too. You see Rodgers with that little toss, that little faux toss.
Fake. Yeah.
Yeah, that, of course, that pulls people downhill. But he turns his entire shoulders around to make this throw.
Yeah. And then flips back.
Yeah.
He's got ridiculous arm strength and talent. I mean, it's his boy, and he looked good against us. But the frustrating thing about this year is that who knows? He could go into this week and they could go back into a shell again offensively and get nothing done. So this is a 3rd and 1 on that same first possession. I think Marlon was in a good spot there, a good place, a good location against DK, and the arm length and strength of DK to be able to push him off, but not do so in an obvious manner, I guess, is what helps it not be called. So give him credit for that. Man, little play fake here, but there's no mesh between Andrews and the running back. Between Rodgers and the running back at all. You can just see the running back is veering downhill. And Rodgers knows where he's going with the football, but to your point, like the body positioning for Rodgers, I mean, look, the hip is facing, up here.
Yeah.
But watch where the ball ends up. Someone in our Ravens Discord, I think it was Frank, said at some point in the second quarter, like, we just need to get a pick. I was like, well, yeah, we do. That'd be great. But like where this guy's putting the football,
that's nuts.
It doesn't seem like that's very likely to happen. This is a great play by Marlon, man. Yeah. I think Marlon played him well on this first possession.
No question. I mean, he's solo here for sure. Like for both of these plays, and I think he's playing both of them well. I think the tendency is for fans to say, well, Marlon's getting losing a step or he's not playing well. These 2 plays, this is an exceptional cornerback play, and you can see Rodgers' reaction here. He knows he's got the throw. I mean, he's not open, but he knows exactly where he puts the ball, and he puts it there, and it's in his hands, and you can see the frustration with Rodgers at the end of it.
Yeah, I get the sense that Rodgers is definitely frustrated with their offensive structure, their talent, and even leading up to this game, the 2 games that I watched of their offense, you could definitely see situations where Rodgers saw something and was throwing it to a certain spot, and the receiver wasn't able to adjust mentally and recognize it. It seems to me like he's a really experienced guitar player who's stuck with a lower level group, from a recognition and awareness standpoint, obviously. I thought this was a really nice play. And then the third one that I'll show, that was a 3rd and 1, by the way. The very next play was the tight end sneak, whatever people want to call it. It was, nowadays they call it tush push. It's what bothers me about people who only watch the NFL. It's like whatever new name is thrown out there. Hey, dude, this has been around for forever. The only thing was you weren't allowed to push, so I get it. So this is after the conversion on the tush push. and it's a first and goal. One more time, it's going to be DK against Marlon. I feel like we're doing a pretty good job on all three of these routes. So a lot of physicality here. It's a fake sweep to the guy in motion. So the running back, Gainwell, is stepping, and they're making it look like they're going to give the ball to – this is Jonnu Smith that used to play for the Titans. He actually had a touchdown against us in the playoff game.
Right.
In the upset, obviously, in the divisional round after the 2019 season. So they're making it look like, a sweep. And again, you got the same dynamic, except Rodgers turns over the other shoulder as opposed to the first play where he kind of opened back up clockwise. Now he's going counterclockwise, if you will. And Marlon and DK are in a fight once again. DK kind of shoves him off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Marlon tries to stay connected to him. And then you can see Marlon's like, I'm not going to commit pass interference here. I'm just going to raise my arms up. No awareness of where the ball is. I'll give you the end zone angle, I guess. But I think he's playing him well on this first possession, even though DK had big numbers for the day. I think 7 catches on 14 targets. Maybe it was 13, but not very efficient. You can see the running back faking like he's going to lead for Smith, who's, opening the arms up. Rodgers turns counterclockwise, back out to his right. These two guys are battling. DK had just kind of shrugged off Marlon, and we get some pressure from Travis Jones. I think you've almost got DK pushing his arm off again right there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're just hand fighting. And then Rodgers puts it in a place. The thing I do like about this is he puts it in a place where only his guy no one can get it. The reality is no one can get it. But Marlon's not going to make a play on that ball.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the last 2 weeks, Burrow and you actually talked about one on this show last week, Burrow and Rodgers, they're putting the ball in spots where only their guy can make a play on it generally. You talked about one last week where Burrow was kind of moving out into the right. I think it was from the opposite angle. I think he had broken a sack and he threw the ball. I believe it ended up incomplete, but it was still an amazing throw.
Mm-hmm. Are all 3 of these from the first
possession?
Wow. Yeah. Really good corner play.
I thought he stood up. We gave up a 52-yarder. People are going to have different opinions, fine, about whether it should be a push-off or not. I just want the NFL to be consistent. If they're going to call it on 5'9", 195-pound Zay Flowers, then they should call it on 6'4", 235-pound DK Metcalf, and George Pickens. George Pickens made a living out of it. He doesn't have to fully extend his arm to do so. He can do so without his arm, going all the way out. There can still be some bend in the elbow.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought he stood up. I thought he played well on that first possession and wanted to point it out. I didn't get a chance to cover it in film study fashion yet this week.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's good to see. And I think it's good to point out, that he's being asked to cover in man coverage, the toughest guy on the field, and he's holding up. Like even on that bomb, it took a perfect throw and a push off, but he's really in good position throughout that route to me.
I mean, our lack of pressure also is a factor, throughout the whole game and the season. Now, these plays not necessarily – well, actually, Travis Jones is pressuring Rodgers at some point on one of these throws, and that helps us. If we don't have any pressure at all, then Rodgers is able to put the ball maybe a slightly, better spot. Mm-hmm. Did you want to go over another red zone play? You said it was a quads coverage, right?
Yeah, I don't know. This one is more like an overt – second quarter, 3rd and 10. Okay, so this is I wrote down that it's another spy in terms of the pass rush. 53 as a spy.
That'd be the third one I saw this game then, because I had 2.
Say that again? Oh, the third one.
That would be the third spy that we ran, because I had 2 and this was not one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we got 4 receivers to this side. I really need to study this. I feel like I'm still trying to figure out exactly how we're covering it, but I have some grasp of it a little bit. You'll see too, they kind of leave Wiggins to his own devices here again against, I think this is DK Metcalf. but not really. Being that it's third and 10, you see this conversation happening here pre-snap. Kyle's going to help and step right in this window. He's really very attentive to the four receiver side, but bodily, he gets himself in this window off the ball. Right here.
And that's big in that space down there in the red zone to be in the window because the back of the end zone becomes a factor.
Mm-hmm. And he's reading the quarterback here. He still stays right in that window. Doesn't have anything but a feel, let's say, for the wide out. He's not seeing that. But he's responsible for four coming across here. He's our, I guess, we call him our weak hook, something like that. We were talking about this a little beforehand. I'm not sure what to call this coverage exactly, but it looks like a quarter, half with this defender kind of poaching the four receiver side.
Quarter, third.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, very, very unusual looking. I wonder, because to me, you get sort of zone match principles here.
Almost, if the free safety was, is that Gilman that's got his feet near the E in Ravens?
That's Gilman there, yeah.
If his feet are over there near like the N in Ravens, it really kind of starts to look like a Tampa 2.
I was thinking that too. It's very interesting because you see Roku. That was the first thing I thought. Well, maybe this is a shrunken Tampa 2 look here with kind of a soloed up one, because you do get Roquan kind of running this seam off the ball. Let's see. The interesting thing too is you get Marlon. I would think you would want Marlon to match this route because this route comes open. He kind of lets him run through the zone. But to your point, you get a Roquan releasing. I forget what number this is. The tight end.
Freiermuth, 88.
Yeah. Releasing that underneath to our weak hook. You still see very nicely played by Kyle. So it feels a little soloed up, but Kyle's got the window. It's 3rd and 10. That makes a difference in terms of how they're playing this. But you get kind of a bracket here to this side.
DK
Marlon,
on the back side, right? DK is solo DK side.
This is DK right. 4?
Yeah.
Down here? Yeah. So he's soloed up. But Rodgers never looks to that side, not even once. I think he wants the seam initially. He does.
What's Kyle's alignment pre-snap?
Say that one more time.
What's Kyle's? Yeah, so it's not like we're giving off pre-snap. It's not like we are obviously making it look like a double team. Like I'm going to show the touchdown to Jaylen Warren in a moment where you pointed out that we're kind of doubling those two receivers. It's not like there's anything here for Rodgers pre-snap that says, oh, I can't go over there to DK because it looks like a double. If anything, at this point, it looks like maybe I can go over there, you know?
Yeah.
But what's Hamilton doing really, if you're the quarterback and you've got quads to one side, but Hamilton is set back to the other, I think you're probably thinking this has got to be some kind of zone. Otherwise, what's Hamilton doing over there? He's the dime linebacker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not smart enough.
I think the back running this, whatever you want to call it, arrow slant kind of comes open. And maybe
Absolutely.
It's the pressure there. Yeah, he's open. I guess Rodgers is feeling some kind of pressure outside, which I don't know if it's there or not. And then he comes open later, too. You can see him kind of wave his arms around. Roquan first is kind of wall this guy a little bit, or just
inside leverage, but let him pass under. It's a fun drill with inside linebackers. It's not necessarily from a mugged up position, but it teaches kids how to read inside out. Okay, if he goes vertical, run with him, stay on his inside hip. If he goes under, let him go, take the other route.
Yeah, and he does pass that off. So I guess he's feeling Mike Green here. Mike Green had some nice pressures. Just everything's close, but no cigar, you know. So I guess that's what he's feeling. I don't know why he's leaving the pocket exactly here at this moment, but he is.
Right.
And look, we saw Mike make a couple of these sacks in college. Remember that, Coach? Like, we're just twist his body around, and Rodgers able to step out of this.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about Mike Green long term. I'm not. I know other people are, and that's fine. We're in a place as a team prior to 2025 where we have Super Bowl aspirations. We're not now, but and so Mike Green at that point we need him to produce. I don't. I'm glad that they got rid of Oweh. I know others are not, and we've put Green in a position to play as many snaps as possible for his development. It was a good thing. Let's put it that way.
Here's our spy, Van Noy.
Yeah, you can usually adjust it if you want to grab the corner. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then Humphrey goes off after him. This guy again is right here, wide open.
Yeah,
I think Van Noy gets his hand on the football here.
yes, he does.
This
yes,
is
he
6
does.
right there.
Yes,
Probably touchdown. Otherwise.
great play by Van Noy. Can you go back to the all 22 and then get us about like once the routes get like 5-6 yards downfield? I think it's a Tampa 2 with an 8th dropper underneath. And this is kind of like, I've been talking to you about the Vikings defense for a while. This is kind of like a Flores thing. I started seeing it with Flores maybe, is it 2023 or 24? I forget where he was. I think maybe I saw it Miami 2021, if memory serves, when he was the DC down there. Or head coach down there, excuse me. Tampa 2, and then you've got an 8th dropper underneath. Because the weakness of a Tampa 2, can you let it run forward a little bit more?
Yep.
That hole underneath of Roquan between the two hash droppers, right? So between Hamilton and I don't know who the other guy is. I think that's Marlon.
That's Marlon, yeah, right in here.
Yeah, so that the idea, or at least what I think the idea is, between that 8th dropper is to either A, be a spy, or occupy that middle lane with the Mike linebacker getting vertical. Now, normally, I feel like I see this further out from the red zone. That's what I kind of think it is. Oh, does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think, to your point, I'm not sure why the spy isn't here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Middle of the field.
Right.
Because Flores and those guys, they'll do it with a defensive tackle. It'll be like Harrison Phillips. He played for the Jets against us like 3 weeks ago, 97. He used to play in Minnesota. Great player. They would drop him out, play a Tampa 2, and he's at like 4 yards depth, maybe 5, but directly in the middle of the field as far as the formation. And then you have the Mike linebacker running with a vertical. So, how do you get a throw over the top of him and in that lane? It can't be a direct shot. It's got to be lofted some, and then other guys are going to be able to converge. I think that's the idea. That's what I think I understand of it.
It was there was another play where they sort of had a quads formation where they kind of blew the coverage. You're getting ready to show a play where the back scores the touchdown, but there's another quads thing where they had Roquan running up there and they left the hook open. We don't have to get to that play. But.
We're not as sharp.
Yeah.
For me, in some of those money downs. I did a video last week of Burrow on 3rd down. On some of those money downs, we're not as sharp as we would like to be in Week 14 if we were going to be a good playoff team, which we know we're not at this point, obviously. All right, so I didn't want to do this one. I was kind of hoping you would take it. A lot to say about it. Let's do the end zone angle first.
Okay.
It's 20-16 at this point. We've got to within 20-16. It was 20-9 them, right? We had missed the extra point. It was 17-9 them. I'm sorry. We had missed the extra point late in the second quarter. They get a field goal to make it 20-9. We match, or we exceed, I should say, trading 3 for 7, and we get to within 20-16. This is really disappointing, and I think plays a factor in the end of game situations. And this is what makes it so frustrating for me is it's a 3rd and 4. We can blame Mike Green if we want to, right? He's dropping out. It seems pretty clear to me that Gilman should not blitz. Because Gilman blitzes, I mean, Freiermuth is completely wide open. And you can see that when when Jalen Warren catches this football, Freiermuth is going to be pissed off because he's like,
Yes.
I was open, you know. This is an S court. I mean, like for him to be this open and beat Green by this much, he didn't beat Green by that much because Mike Green can't move or is slow. It's because Mike Green ain't looking at him. You know, he's not looking at him at all. You can actually see Green's eyes are on, are on his visual key, which would, most of the time be the tackle, whatever he's looking at, whichever part of the tackle's body he's looking at. Sometimes might be looking at the ball. But it's like, what are we looking at the ball for when we're supposed to drop out? I don't get it. It's a frustrating situation for me that we're doing this. If Green isn't supposed to rush, which I don't think he is, and Gilman's not supposed to be there, well, who's got QB contained? I guess it's Draymond Jones, right? Who's got a spin move, right? And I think this goes back to something that I mentioned against the Bengals with the Roquan touchdown, or the one that Yoshivas or Iosivas caught over Roquan that we covered here on this channel. Let the cover guys cover and the rush guys rush. We, in my opinion, we can overcomplicate things against some of the lesser quarterbacks, but when we overcomplicate it against these, regardless of what people want to think about Aaron Rodgers, like he just laced us. I think the game looked easy to him, other than the interception that got called back or whatever the situation is called, interception, fumble by that Buchanan takes from him. Other than that, I thought he was pretty sharp. I may be neglecting to remember certain plays. Yeah. We overcomplicate stuff, I think.
Well, this is strange. I mean, maybe from the all-22, but who's got the tight end? Pre-snap, 12 is aligned over the Gilman is lined up over the tight end. Mm-hmm. But let's assume that they want Green. It looks like Green is just playing hook. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because you see 53 doing the same thing, dropping out as a hook player.
Yeah, it looks like guys are dropping, and we're supposed to be rushing these four here. So we've got the wrong call. Somebody's got the wrong call.
Yeah, and
somewhere through the all-22.
Who's accounting for the back pre-snap here? I mean, who do we have?
Goes back to
who's playing the back here? I mean,
goes back to what you said earlier in the year, and you and I have said it, I think, different ways. You said, we're just kind of pressing buttons. We're picking a coverage, and I have said it a different way. I think it speaks to the same point. It's that we don't have any awareness of formation because we're just calling plays on defense. We're calling our play, and we hope it's going to work. Basically, and for those of you listening, if you're, if I'm not explaining it well enough, the idea is, let's say that all these two players right here for the Steelers lined up over to this side. What EA and I are offering is that we would still run the same blitz. We would still run the same stunt regardless of the formation. That's the idea. And to have no awareness of this at all, at the same time, on the same play, a critical 3rd and 4, when no one covers the tight end, that's not a good sign at all.
No. It doesn't matter if Mike Green peels out and takes the back. The tight end's open too.
I had a chair thrown at me by a head coach who I will not name for a somewhat similar blown coverage type thing, whereby we blew it, but it wasn't two. It wasn't two on the same play. Basically, this is a blown coverage. This is a blown coverage at the same time that we appear to be doubling up here.
What is that?
And that's not DK. So it's one thing if we want to double DK like that. We're into the 3rd quarter. He's gotten a lot done against us from a big play standpoint. we appear to me to be calling this coverage. If that technique that Marlon and Starks are doing, if that's what they should do, then it's meant to be doing that on this player here. I think this is a really bad look. That's why I told you we would end this on a negative note. I said that.
Yeah. No, there's no way that they're both playing him in man there. There's no sense of like over under.
None.
And it just seems like a bad call. The call came in and it isn't communicated or it isn't understood.
If you we used to say, if you have a call on defense, whatever it is, and you have two blown assignments on the same call, it's probably your fault as the coordinator.
Yeah.
And this case, how many do we have? Green doesn't match this. That's our guess, right? Gilman blitzes instead of possibly covering this. And we've got a double team on, I don't even know who that receiver is. I guess it's Austin. I don't see any reason to double team him. At least 3 blown aspects of this coverage, in my opinion. And, we get what we deserve. For overcomplicating the game, 27-16, last points they scored, our defense wiped them out in the fourth quarter. I do think we made things a little more simple at times in the fourth quarter. I really do.
Who's rushing?
Maybe that. Sorry.
Who are the 4 rushers? If we've got Mike Green and Van Noy coming, let's say, theoretically
those 4.
speaking, yeah. What am I trying to say here? It's like if we're letting the cover guys cover, 12 isn't coming, 12 is on the tight end, 41's rushing, maybe Kyle's rushing.
We are allocating, to your point, we are allocating a premier coverage guy / blitzer.
Good point.
To occupy a right guard. And this ain't our right guard. Like, if this is our right guard, Kyle Hamilton probably swims that dude, and it's another Daniel Falele highlight or low light, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's frustrating to me how complicated we try to make the game. And I understand it that some people, it happened last week with the Roquan touchdown, were like, hey, I'm just glad we're bringing pressure. Do we not have other guys who could do this job? And we could put Hamilton, I don't know, maybe on that guy or possibly on that guy. Like, who is supposed to cover Jaylen Warren here? If Gilman is supposed to blitz, who's supposed to cover Warren?
Yeah, I don't think it's 45. I don't think it's Green's responsibility based on the call. I don't think. I'm just guessing. I think he's just doing a hook drop and then late in the play realizes that the back's not covered. But
And one of my problems with this type of look consistently on third downs is once the running back or receiver or tight end, catches it and gets out here, it's over. There's no layers or levels to the defense. And I'm not saying that we should never be in a mug look. I'm not saying we should never look like this structurally. But what's been the return on it in 2025? Has the return on that type of look and all the different things that branch out of it, has the return on those things been enough to justify one of these situations? Just one. This, to me, right here is the difference. I know the likely touchdown, Lamar gets sacked on the last play of the game. It's a horrible concept, I think, by Monken. All of that doesn't justify this one play to me. We need to be more sound and have more than 2 levels to the defense on critical situations. How easy is this for Aaron Rodgers? Yeah. Like, are you serious? Bing.
I was thinking the same thing. At what point do you realize, let's say on third down situations, 3rd and 4 or whatever it is, what point do you realize we're not getting the effect that we want out of sending 5, or whatever it is, or these mugged up fronts. We're not fooling anybody. We're better off in coverage and letting 4 come after the quarterback. At what point do you realize, well, we're not getting off the field? 17, we're giving up 12, third,
Because we have such variable looks. At the NFL level, you're going to. I understand that. Fine. when you have blown coverages, you have to at some people call it blown coverages. I usually refer to it as missed assignments.
Mm-hmm.
You had an assignment that you missed. Hopefully, my mic hasn't sounded horrible the whole time. There's 3 different settings on this mic. The game sometimes needs to be made more simple. And I said this to you pre-show. Like, one of the smartest football guys I ever got the opportunity to be around was like, "Hey, when we get this formation, we're going to take the OLB, and he's going to read the back. If the OLB goes away, then we're gone. We're rushing. We're gone. Simple read, right? Let the athlete be an athlete. If he, steps up to the middle, we may screen check or we may just rush, depending on, what the call is. But if he releases to the outside, you're going to match him. You're going to not let him cross your face. You're going to violently take your inside shoulder, right shoulder, and put it in his chin or his chest. Very similar to what the Patriots did to Marshall Faulk the first time that they upset the Rams. The Kurt Warner, Mike Martz, St. Louis, I think St. Louis Rams at that point, right?
Yeah.
So you have something built in there, a one-word check that a player can provide, but we're making the game so complicated. Well, unless we just want to say, "Oh, this is the rookie's fault," that's fine. Well, whose fault is this?
Right.
Gilman isn't a rookie.
Right.
Whose fault is this? Neither one of those guys is a rookie, but the other one ain't. He's an all-pro from 1 year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing structurally with the way we teach the game that this type of thing happens in a huge moment against the Pittsburgh Steelers? Can't happen. And I hope, and this is going to sound sadistic, but I've done this to myself before. Said, I'm going to watch that play 50 times. If it's my fault, I'm going to watch that play 50 times tonight or tomorrow and ingrain it into my stupid head. Don't put kids in this situation again, because and the replaying it over and over. Friends of mine would be like, "Coach, you got to stop." I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "Because no matter how many times you watch it, he's still going to screw up." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. I'm not watching it because I'm frustrated with the kid. I'm watching it because I'm frustrated with myself that I didn't teach it better in a way that they understood immediately to do what was asked of them." We've got at least 2 missed assignments, if not 3 on this play. I can't really talk about it more without dropping F-bombs.
Yeah, it's, whatever this is, week 14. So by some miracle, the Ravens get into a playoff situation, this is going to happen again. They're going to get exploited for the rest of the year, one way or another. They just are. And against a better team or a playoff team, this kind of thing is going to happen over and over again.
And look, the reality is, in the first half, our offense was obviously struggling. We're too talented to have the offense struggle that often. Defense shut things down in the fourth quarter and gave us an opportunity. So it's fine to blame the offense. I think 2 things can be true. We blew a coverage here that created an 11-point differential, and we looked amazing in the fourth quarter. We looked like the better team at the end, to me.
Mm-hmm.
But we say that all the time when we play Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. We say that we look like the better team, and we still end up losing. What is it? 8 of the last 11 or something like that?
I think so. Yeah. Or 9 out of 12, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's just what a fluky 2 weeks we've had, and it's inexplicable. I mean, we're sitting here trying to explain it. It's almost unexplainable.
Well, you have to credit the Steelers for being true to who they are and, attempting to not turn the football over. The Buchanan strip interception, that was a great play by Okoye, man. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He get his hands up.
That was cool.
Awesome. A lot of things had to go wrong. Of course, the Travis Jones penalty on the field goal shouldn't have been called. We know that.
Right.
The Buchanan turnover, and then the likely touchdown that wasn't. If you guys didn't like how we kind of covered this, you could feel free to let us know. Normally, we try to play hot potato and pass off one play to the other. This is a little different style. I enjoyed it. Did you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. This is always good fun.
Really cool how you went and found another coverage though, that from a similar situation and how different it was. I didn't know you were going to do that, so it caught me off guard, but it was really cool because I would love to do that, provide a little bit more historical context. Hey, here's this coverage from 2 years ago, maybe even against the same quarterback. It's hard to do, man.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Most people just tend to focus on this week. So it's really cool that you went back and grabbed that. What made you think to do that?
I lucked out because when I was looking at that coverage, I saved that play and I had it on my desktop, from whenever. I had it on my desktop from whenever. Like, oh, wait a minute, that looks kind of familiar to me. And yeah, so it was there. I was lucky. When I saw Stubby, when I was studying that coverage, that's what I did. Okay, there's a good example of it. I even had the Saban practice tape of that on my desktop so I can see it.
That's not luck. That's called, you have some type of organizational system that allowed you to be able to go find that, access it. And I try to do the same thing. Like I try to label the plays in a certain order such that I know what to look for. And fortunately with like a Windows, laptop or desktop, you can just, Control F, find this word, cover 3. Boom. There's all the cover 3s from 2024. But it's pretty cool that you went back and found that. I hope people appreciate it because I definitely did.
Cool. Thanks, Coach.
Well, man, we appreciate you guys. If you tuned in this long, feel free to give us feedback on any aspect of this presentation. We're using StreamYard, obviously, as indicated by the graphic in the top right portion of the screen. Out of necessity, we do have a better option that I've been unable to get off the ground because of tech limitations a little bit on my end. So hopefully we can get that fixed and give a little bit more professional look to this. If you have any suggestions for us on things we could cover the rest of the way, feel free to let us know in the comment section. But in addition, we have some plans on the off season to do somewhat similar presentations about the Ravens, other teams, and also probably focusing on rookie defensive backs and safeties as well. Any closing thoughts here, EA, before we close this one up?
Oh, what do you think think there's any chance the Ravens win out? I think there's a good chance the Steelers collapse, but I think we kind of have to win out.
Nothing surprises me with the Steelers. Nothing.
They could definitely collapse, but maybe not to the point that it's enough for us. We'll see. But
we got to win. I think realistically, we got to get to 9 wins. So that to me involves beating the Bengals and the Steelers in a rematch, and then winning one of those 2 games against the Patriots or the Packers. I don't see us doing it another way. I don't see us sweeping the Patriots and the Packers, especially in Green Bay. Like, if you haven't, not you, but people listen, if you haven't watched the Packers defense, you will. So they play zone and they get after the quarterback and they're very fast. And so for me, I don't see a situation where we go 4-0 at all.
Right.
3-1 to me seems like best case scenario, and 2-2 probably more likely.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think 3-1 is possible because I think we can beat Pittsburgh, and I think we can beat Cincy. But we lose this week, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't want to win the division at 8-9, and I'll be straight up. I don't want to win the division at 9-8.
Yeah,
I really do not.
I'm starting to play the what's it called, the draft simulator thing. I looked at it the other night. We're picking 13th, so that doesn't sound so horrible to me. If you could move up a few spots even then, because I'm kind of fancy about the draft. I kind of like the draft. But
yeah, you do a great job with it, man. The way you cover the players on your channel, obviously. I don't know exactly intimately how the schedules are done, but I do know there's a such thing as a first place schedule. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't want a first place schedule at 9-8.
Right.
Now I know that a 9-8 first place schedule with a wild card exit, which is most likely, would be different than a 15-2 team that goes to the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl or whatever. So I know it's different there. But in any case, man, I appreciate you once again for helping create this and
thanks, Coach.
Having stuff prepared. So, well, if you guys enjoyed it, please let us know in the comment section. Thank you for following up here for an hour-long presentation, on a Wednesday or whenever you happen to watch this. Again, if you have any suggestions for content in the future that EA and I could cover together, feel free to let us know in the comments section. And if you think other Ravens fans would enjoy this edition of Inside the Coverage, albeit one that was after another loss to the Steelers, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.